Chelsea fans, we are back recording take number 2 on this video, as Danny Welbeck has also signed a 2-year deal with Chelsea FC from Brighton. We've talked about him before. It is great experience. Xavi Alonso wanted an old head in the team, and we finally got him. He's 35 years of age. He finally will not be able to score against us again. Another reason Brighton are going to be motivated to beat us, and pretty much going to be able to boo the whole team. You know, Joao Pedro, Danny Welbeck, both of our strikers are old Brighton players. That is absolutely unreal. You know, Cucurella obviously is gone now. Caicedo, we signed that Buonanotte dude who's obviously gone from Brighton FC. Now, it's nice having a striker who can actually score and assist as a backup. We don't have to bring Delap on as a sub anymore when we need him most. You know, if Joao Pedro's having an absolute stinker, which rarely happens, we will actually have a striker to bring on who can make an instant impact. You know, I feel like recently we've always had such bad backups, you know, in certain spots, in certain positions, and now we finally are getting to the point where we have good backups, aka Danny Welbeck. Now, I wonder what's going to happen to Satpayev because I don't want him to never play. You know, I guess he can start cup games, and Danny Welbeck can always be a permanent sub because Satpayev, he's going to be the third choice striker. He better always be playing the cup games, every Carabao Cup, FA Cup game, you know, unless we're playing, you know, Liverpool. He needs to be playing. I want to see him play. I want to see him get game time. He scored in the game today. I was going to make a review about it, but I didn't even watch the game. And I really can't find any good highlights, so I'm not going to fake it and just make some random video acting like I watched it when I really would have no idea what to talk about that much. But Danny Welbeck should always be a sub no matter what. Satpayev needs to start games. Danny Welbeck can be a sub for him. Jordan, oh my days. Joao Pedro can start all the Prem games, and then Danny Welbeck can be a sub for him, even if Joao Pedro's having a good game. Put Danny Welbeck on in the 80th minute or something, just to keep Joao Pedro fit, healthy, happy. Danny Welbeck, we'll look here at his stats real quick. Transfer value is $4.3 million. That's brilliant. We'll be able to sign him for what, like 5, 10? I have no idea. 40 games for Brighton, 14 goals. He scored against us, I think, 3 times last year. Scored against us 9 times total in his entire career against us. 13 Premier League games in 37 games. 13 Premier League goals in 37 games last year, 11 goals in 36 games total last year, with 10 of those being in the Prem last season. Look, again, as a backup, it's great experience. This is the type of player that can help you win the Prem. Obviously, he's not no 100-pound Morgan Rogers, but he will do the job in backup, a player we can actually bring on when we need a winner to help us out. It is absolutely brilliant. We move. Chelsea want to sell both Badiashile for around $30 million and Diasi for $20 million. With Badiashile, I've also seen we might loan him to Napoli. We'll have to see what happens for that. But for both of them, this is a good move. There's no point to have players here who don't want to play for us and who aren't going to play. But does Diasi even want to leave? Because teams have come in for him, some teams in Italy, and he doesn't want to go because he's making too much here to leave. These teams are calling him up, and he's like, well, here's how much I'm making at Chelsea. Why the hell would I go play for you when I can have all this money at Chelsea FC? So, hey, good for him. It's our fault we gave him that much money if we're never going to play him. Anyway, either player, both need to go. You know, I said Badiashile could be a decent asset because he's a left-footed center back, so he could, you know, back up Kowa. I'm not sure how many left-footed center backs we have. You know, Hato can also do that, but I think he's going to play a lot of actual left back this year. I think prices are both fair, with Diasi being a bomb squad player. His valuation should never be more than 20. And Badiashile plays here or there. I think 30 is fine as well. It's crazy how Diasi was playing in a World Cup, in a 2022 World Cup final. And now look at him. He was in the bomb squad. Then he went on loan to West Ham. You know, good for him. I was happy for him. He actually got to play. But look, you're too inconsistent. You're never going to play here. You're better off playing for like a relegation team, you know, and just do your thing there. Both of them are not going to help us win a Premier League, you know, but good luck to them, I guess. We move. Chelsea are not expecting to add another midfielder in addition to Henderson if we sign him. One sec. I'm assuming this is if we keep Enzo, because I feel like we've looked at other big players, you know, Adam Moore and Alex Scott, who we actually put a bid in for $64 million. In case Enzo leaves, you know, Alex Scott, you know, if we could have gotten him for $60 million, we would have taken it. But I think some of these players like an Adam Warren, Bruno Guimaraes, who's going to go to Arsenal now, we've been asking for their valuations and stuff to see how much they are, just in case we lose Enzo, so we can see how much we can buy some of these other players for. If Enzo leaves, we bring him Adam Warren and we make 20 million because Enzo goes for 120. Adam would be, I think, just a baseline 100. But Bournemouth want 100 for Alex Scott. We ain't going to be paying that. Anyway, I only think Enzo goes this point is if it's to City. I don't think he'd go to Madrid at this point. Madrid don't want him. Madrid have also just bought that Diamante dude for like 120 million. And they're not going to pay that kind of money again. There's no way they can. And they have good enough midfield that they really don't need Enzo, honestly. But on Henderson would be a great backup. Again, another great experience, another old-timer. He's 36, played at Liverpool for years and years, 492 games, one Premier League, one Champions League, one Carabao Cup, one FA Cup, one like Super Cup, one like FIFA Club World Cup when it was like, now it's like the Intercontinental Cup, whatever. But, he's won the titles, and we need the leadership under Xavi. Xavi wants those old heads. It looks like we're going to get him and Danny Welbeck, because we have pretty much gotten Danny Welbeck at this point. But that's fine with me. If we can get Danny Welbeck and Henderson for a combined, 20 million, that's an absolute W in my books. Anyway, Chelsea are exploring other left-back options after talks with Pep Chavaria, have stalled. Do we need another left back when this 18-year-old, I don't even know how to say his name from the academy, Amenalo, is playing well? I've seen memes. It's Marcelo in disguise. Obviously, he's not that good. He did make a costly mistake where he decided to just launch it up the field, and it didn't go anywhere. It hit off a Western Sydney player, and they ended up scoring from it. But it's fine. He's straight from the academy. It's his first preseason game. Whatever. But we could also do with experience in the spot. It's maybe a spot that Xabi Alonso could look for one of those old heads in, maybe someone who's 25 to 30, because it seems like most of the players we're looking for now are older, and we know Xabi Alonso wants that experience. But at the same time, I could see him sticking with Hado and this young 18-year-old because he's been training with him a lot. He's been playing him a lot. So we'll have to see. If he works Xavi, then yeah, there ain't no point to sign anybody else, and don't sign anybody else. Next, Liam Delap's representatives are in talk with several Premier League clubs, with Everton leading the chase, but Newcastle and Leeds also in the mix. Brighton and Fulham have also held conversations. Chelsea paid around $30 million to sign the striker, and we understand Chelsea will only sanction his departure if they receive a fee that delivers a profit on investments. And we've also seen that Nottingham Forest, I'm fixing the camera, are interested. I saw that, I think, yesterday maybe. But after his first preseason game, I don't need to see no more, mate. He can go. We're good. He's missing chance after chance against Western Sydney, bro. You're getting outshone by a bunch of 18-year-olds from our academy that look better than you, bro. Satpayev looks so much better than you. But if we want to run the Prem, he's not going to work out. One Premier League goal last season is not going to cut it. It's shameful. How much do we think we could get for him again? Because we want to sell him for a profit. At this point, if we're going to sell him for a profit, bro, it's going to have to be $31 million, and we're going to have to get $1 million profit from him because we ain't going to get any more profit from him, if I'm being honest. I think maybe we could sell him for exactly $30 million, but I don't know, because Blueco always seems to find a way to sell players for more than what they're valued. But Everton would be a good team for him. Fulham, Brighton, Nottingham Forest I think would be really good because I feel like he works really well with those relegation scrap teams. I think that fits him best. We saw him at Ipswich, and that's why I think all these teams want him, because they saw what he could do at Ipswich when he, plays in a team that, scraps around, whatever, because that's what he is. He's a scrappy player. I don't think he's meant for the big-time teams, but, again, stay at a mid-level team. That's best for you. Let's see what happens with him. If he ends up leaving, good luck to him. If he ends up staying, that's okay too, I guess. Lastly, Jorgensen is on the verge of leaving Chelsea to join Strasbourg. Agreement almost done. He is the third goalie in the past who has been a Chelsea player. Him, Pendes, and Petrovic. As a Strasbourg fan, are you happy with this? Because I honestly would be. Yeah, he's a backup, but he plays for, Chelsea FC. But if I'm him, I would not want to stay in this Blue Coast system. I'd be like, get me out of here. Who's to say I'm not just going to be another backup at Strasbourg? I don't think he would be, but you never know. Anyway, what would happen to Pendes? Will he fight for the number 1 spot? I think he will, but I also don't want him to be a backup. I think that ruins his, capabilities, especially as a goalkeeper. We know sitting on the bench as a goalkeeper, even if he's playing here and there, will not help his development at all. So I'd rather him go back out on loan to Strasbourg, sell Jorgensen somewhere else, and just bring in a backup goalkeeper who's like 35 for like 10 million, and just hope Sanchez doesn't get injured. But we've also seen that, we might sign a new goalkeeper. And if that's going to happen, just get rid of Sanchez at that point and keep Mike Pendes as a backup. I guess that's fine. But with Sanchez fighting for a number 1 spot, we saw what happened last year with Jorgensen when he did that. His confidence was just so bad because of Rafinha, man. Like, watching Jorgensen play against PSG was just an absolute fumble by Rafinha, man. That has to be one of the reasons why he was fired. I'm surprised Bluco even fired him so quick. Like, I know he was terrible, but that did not seem like a Bluco thing to do at all that early into his tenure. But glad he's gone. Obviously, we got Xavi now. Whatever. We move from that. Strasbourg's a good level for him, I think. Hopefully he does well for them. I just hate how he dropped Sanchez, and that ruined his confidence. Obviously, with Mike Pendes, that would up his confidence because he's like, man, I'm playing for Chelsea FC. But at the end of the day, this is about Jorgensen. Thank you for the, Conference League final. A couple years ago, you made some good saves in that. You were the goalkeeper that played in it and won it for us. So wish him all the best and good luck to him. If you made it this far in the video, make sure you like and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.